And welcome back, everybody. We're continuing our coverage of the Republican National Convention. They gavelled in, gavelled out today. Tomorrow, it begins in earnest. In fact, let's head back to Tampa right now. Our senior political correspondent, Andrew Whitman's there, getting ready for tomorrow. Andrew, I know you're joined by somebody. We're talking about the youth vote here. I'm curious this guy's perspective.
We are. I'm joined now by Alex Shriver. He is the chairman of the College National Republican Committee. Thanks very much for. He's also going to be addressing the convention tomorrow, the youngest speaker. Want to start with the optics of the convention going forward. Is it going to be difficult or awkward for the convention to happen and this big party to take place with Hurricane Isaac potentially slamming into the Gulf?
Sure. So convention officials and our elected officials here at the Republican National Committee are in constant communication with state and local emergency management. We're confident that we're going to proceed day by day and take this as it comes. And should things take a turn for the worse, I'm sure convention officials are ready to change programming. But until then, we're going to go full steam ahead and ready for 3 great days here in Tampa.
Should we expect at least a few mentions of the storm from the floor tomorrow?
I'm sure, absolutely. I think all of those in the Gulf Coast. I'm from Alabama myself, and those in Louisiana are in our thoughts and prayers, and we hope for the best.
You're the youngest speaker scheduled to address the convention. You're the college Republican national chairman. Young voters are not seeming to go Republican, at least in polls that we're getting. A lot of that may have to do with the platform and social issues, social conservatism. Are you concerned that maybe some of the positions in the official party platform may be turning off voters your age?
Sure. So I think there's a big misconception about the issues important to young voters. 74% of young voters' #1 issue is jobs and the economy, the same as all voters this year. The fact of the matter is we had representation on the platform committee, on the rules committee, young Republicans, college Republicans, making sure their voice was heard. So we're confident that as young voters hear the message of our candidates, Governor Romney and Congressman Ryan, the next 72 hours, that they're going to realize that this election comes down to getting out of their parents' basement, comes down to paying their student loans, comes down to getting that job when they graduate and walk across stage every May. And as long as that's what we're talking about, which it is, then we're going to be just fine.
But when you get to issues like immigration or women's health or other socially conservative positions the party's taken, that does tend to turn off a lot of younger voters.
You know, again, I think this election is about jobs and the economy. There are a lot of issues on the table, a lot of issues in the platform as well. But young voters are going to decide based on one major issue, and that's jobs, and it's the economy, and that's the one that President Obama has failed them on the greatest.
All right, Alex Shriver, the chairman of the College Republican National Committee, thanks very much for joining us. Good luck with your speech tomorrow. Rich, that is the latest from here in Tampa. Let's send it right back to you in the studio.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. And, you know, guys, right before we went to break, we were talking about Ann Romney tomorrow. We're also, Dominic, going to be hearing from Chris Christie. We're going to be talking a little bit more about him in the next segment. His job tomorrow, it's going after Obama, right? That's his job, junkyard dog, right?
You know, I've often compared Governor Christie to Rudy Giuliani, and that's going to be his job tomorrow night. He will package it in terms of not trying to be so nasty, and in the back of Christie's mind is, this is my Obama moment. If I do well now, I can end up just like Obama did, the President of the United States. But his job is to make the contrast. His job is to get his hands dirty, in which Romney won't as much. Romney's job is to introduce himself to America. Christie's job is to say, Romney's great, he is everything that's wrong with Obama, and here's why the country's so screwed up, and it's all Obama's fault.
All right, well, we're going to be talking about Chris Christie when we come back from the break, and if you happen to see the New York Post's front page today, you'll know why here. A story that Chris Christie could have been the running mate, but he chose not to. We'll talk around the table to see if we're buying it. Stay with us.